Hey guys, welcome to Overtakes. This is Misfit,
And I'm Cal.
and here we are. We're going to talk about Stage 1 playoffs tonight. And before we dive into today's match, that was pretty much one of the best Overwatch League matches that I've ever seen.
Oh, hands down.
Yeah. Uh, we're going to talk about the whole weekend, and then we're gonna dive into today's action. We're gonna hit all the matches. I don't think we really need to talk about the semis too much. I mean, there's some stuff we can talk about the first round,
Mhm.
but there was a lot of just absolute slaughters. So, you know, we'll uh, we'll dive into the whole thing, and
Right.
so let's start with Friday. Yeah. So Friday, that's when we had actually the biggest upset, the biggest craziness, all that stuff going on. Um, Actually, you know what? I need to. Can you throw us up on Twitter?
Yeah, I got it.
All right. My computer's deciding to not cooperate with anything today. So yeah. Um, so starting with Friday started off with the big. Um, we had the big. Excuse me. We had the big upset to start, and then we'll talk about that and the things that happened in that match that people are going bazonkers about and all that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Seoul honestly in that first match they owned them, regardless of what anyone wants to say about um, regardless of what anyone wants to say about the final sequence there with Nene and the grab yeet or whatever the hell he was doing. They weren't going to win that anyway. I mean, you fight me on that.
Oh,
But
they were not. Absolutely.
I mean, what are your thoughts on that match? I mean, other than the sheer domination by Seoul that came out of nowhere.
I mean, that's the biggest thing is like where the hell has this soul been?
Yeah, I mean, for me,
Like
that's the big the big
like
question.
it just blows my mind that they've been so inconsistent and then all of a sudden they do that.
Yeah,
And it just comes out of nowhere and
they put it.
but honestly they followed exactly what we said they needed to do.
I know, wasn't that hilarious?
Like you harass Jonak, bait him into making decisions that he doesn't want to make,
Right.
and force him to make bad decisions basically. Like it's pretty simple, but I mean it's really hard to do that, and they did it perfectly.
Oh yeah.
I mean Michelle was just harassing him constantly.
Well, on top of that, I mean, and Fisher was kind of owning fucking Mono, which you don't see.
Oh, for sure.
Well, and they did the plan too, also that we were talking about. Like they went at it from the angle of we have to attack Mono, get that
Hmm.
shield down, and go after them.
Yeah,
And
and they did that perfectly.
yeah, and really they didn't really screw up much in that. Honestly, in that whole
No, I
match, they
mean
were just on fire.
they executed everything to perfection, pretty much. Like there was a few missteps here and there, and like
But they didn't
just
really mean
some
anything.
really, yeah, exactly. Like nothing, no mistakes that they made cost them a game or a match or really
No.
anything. Like they executed as well as they possibly could have,
Yeah.
and New York just couldn't
They
had
couldn't do
no
anything.
response
They had no
to
room to breathe.
anything. Yeah. Oh
And
yeah, they were suffocating.
yeah, and it was honestly, it was the whole team played fantastic. Like
Yeah.
Fleta was amazing. Um, Jessica, whatever his name is, and
I think
Rouge Hong.
Jixi. Yeah.
Rouge Hong got his. I
Oh,
like
Rouge Hong was great.
Yeah.
His Anna, when he busted that out at one point on Volskaya, was fantastic.
Oh yeah.
I
And
I hope to God that that's one thing that we see in the next meta is some Anna at professional play
oh
because
yeah, because
oh my God, these guys are so good at her.
and you know who else was really good at it, and we get to their match coming up was fucking Dogman, man. He was fucking owning on
Yeah,
Anna there.
yeah, he was.
And all right, so we obviously we're gonna talk about the end of this match, but first, before we get to that, the fact that New York even got to Rialto
Hmm.
was because Jonak and fucking Mono manned up on Volskaya.
Yeah,
Um,
Mono with
that four kill.
that 4 kill was unreal.
Yeah.
Like that was probably one of the biggest diva bombs I've seen.
Clutch
in the
ones.
the most clutch diva bombs I've ever seen.
Other than
and
today.
then when Jonak switched to May, was probably one of the most terrifying things I've ever seen in my life.
That's like in Jurassic Park when the fucking T-Rex gets out. Run!
Right, like
Motherfucker, that
holy
guy on
crap!
May.
I mean, he comes out, he takes 3 shots and gets 3 kills.
Well, and he doesn't even
Like-
use the fucking primary fire.
Oh no. No one was even close enough for him to use it yet. And he just comes out and he's just like headshot, headshot, headshot.
Okay,
Like,
we're done.
it's over.
Yep.
Okay.
I'll put a wall up here just in case.
Right,
I-
like, whatever, I can.
Yeah, but so then we get to Rialto, and that whole sequence at the end. Now, I said 100 times that I watched that, countless times in the last 3 days, just trying to figure out some way where everyone's saying that Nene blew that.
Yeah.
That was a high risk maneuver. I'm not going to ever deny that.
For sure. But they had so little chances on that. Like, Seoul they had what, 3 alts, and they had their
They had Shatter. They had
Shatter.
And they had Shatter and they had Sound Barrier. They only had 2 ults. They might have had Rally.
Well, they had Shatter, Sound Barrier, but they also had the whole reason he was going for the Sombra is because she had
Oh yeah, that's right. EMP.
yeah, EMP.
I
don't
was
know why I
talking the
couldn't
other
remember
ones.
that. He had EMP, and it's just like going against that. I mean, New York had more alts, but I mean, when that's all that Seoul has, I mean, that's really all they need, especially when New York had to push it 3 or 4 meters to go.
Yeah, they had to get it. They just got inside the door,
Right.
and they had to go whatever that is, 10 meters or however long. Which you don't think it's a long way, but I mean, if you guys played that map, which I'm sure you have,
Oh yeah, especially through
that's
that
like
choke.
a mile.
Like that choke
with
is
all those doorways and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the thing is they were going in there, and while that was going on, so when he dropped that grab, and I don't know how Michelle got out of that. Because
Right.
if you watch the replay and you see where he is, he's like literally like he could be.
He just barely line of sighted it.
Yeah.
Is what happened. Like, I mean, Nene was so close to getting him with that.
I mean, that would have been the best grab of the century.
Yeah,
But the problem
for
is
sure.
everyone's saying that that was a high risk maneuver, but the problem was that while that was going on, Rouge Hong took out the biggest thing that they needed to win the fight without the grab, and that was fucking Onimo's sound barrier.
Sound barrier. Yeah.
Because Jonak dropped trance because they were waiting for they threw the bomb in, which when you don't have a grab you might as well just try. I mean,
Right.
It doesn't do anything until it does something. That's the only way to describe the diva bomb. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
9 times out of 10 you don't get shit, but then all of a sudden you get a 3 kill and it's like you're a god.
Right. Exactly.
So that left Seoul with EMP and Shatter. How are you going to beat that? Even if you have Grav. So Jonak dropped trance after the Grav was done. The only thing that would have saved them was the sound barrier, and the sound barrier is gone. So they were in desperation mode at that point. They would have never, whatever sequence of events, as long as the only way that they would have won that is if Animo stayed alive.
Yeah, that was the only shot that they had,
Yeah.
and even then, that was still it was shaky. It was very shaky.
But the
for them
New York
to get that done.
I'll give one thing to New York. When something like in a situation like that, normally, if they had the sound barrier, I could see them maintaining the fight with a couple of guys in the cart, and the other guys get back, and then it's one of those situations where they snowball and roll the cart in, and we're going to map 5.
Right.
But it didn't happen because they didn't have one of the most important. You know, people can say how important trance is. That fucking sound barrier is so important.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially with things like shatter and all that.
Right. No, it was. I mean, by that point, it was a lost cause for New York.
Yeah.
And like even
if they won that map, they would have Seoul would have won.
Yeah.
I will lay money on that. Seoul would have won that.
I agree. I'm right there with you because, I mean, they just barely scraped by on Volskaya. And, I mean, if they would have won Rialto, it would have been another one of those that might have deflated Seoul a little bit, but I still think that they would have clutched out another
because they were clutching out the whole match.
Right. Like,
and they couldn't
Seoul just owned them.
They couldn't handle fucking Michelle.
No.
I mean, they showed the stats at the end. Rouge Han played one last map. He had 11 deaths, and I think Jonak had 34 deaths.
Yeah.
To Jonak's credit, though, I think he had, in the match, he had 34,000 healing and something like 26,000 damage.
Oh, yeah. Like it's not like Jonak played poorly, but...
And they didn't play poorly. It's just...
No. They just got outplayed.
Which is kind of the scenario for the whole weekend.
Right. So yeah, that's enough of that's enough about that match. Let's move on to the second match. I mean, there's really not much to say with that one. Vancouver just rolled Boston, and like it's not even that Boston played poorly. Vancouver just straight up buried them. Yeah, like
that was just Vancouver being Vancouver.
Yeah, it was a straight up mash.
Well, yeah, and people. Even today, it happened a couple times. We'll talk about it obviously later, but they just all of a sudden they're just like, you know what? Flip the switch. We're fucking going, bitches. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not even like you got 6 guys coming at you like full fucking tilt, man.
Right. I mean, it was like just when you think like, oh, Boston might get something, like even on Kings Row, like they get the first point, but I mean. After Vancouver held them on the second point on Kings Row,
that was done.
That's pretty much when I turned the game off because I knew it was done.
Yeah.
Like there was no point in watching anymore because it was like, I mean, this game is over at that point, and it was.
Oh yeah, and then, I mean, there's really nothing to talk about in that Vancouver advance. So next day we have a lot of the same things.
Right. Atlanta and Philly. So this was an interesting match, and I know like some of these, both Atlanta and Toronto have gotten a lot of flack for how they performed in these games. But like, yeah, it's
I'm done with
two brand new teams.
What's the common theme here of the teams that won? They've all been there before.
Mm-hmm. They've all played together.
But Seoul was winning championships in Apex.
Exactly.
You know, these guys are the only team that are in the playoffs that have not played with each other for more than 4 weeks or a month or however long.
Right. They've been at most, let's see, since like the end of December is when they all were like in LA together.
Yeah, full blown, like in a room together and working on things and all that stuff. So I don't want to hear it. And I know they're all going to... I told you so that Atlanta was fucking terrible and so was Toronto. Fuck you. You don't know anything.
No, both of those teams are going to come back better and hungrier for the next stage. I fully expect... I'll be shocked if neither one of them makes the stage playoffs in stage 2.
Yeah.
It's possible that one of them might not make it, just because I do think that the next stage is really going to it's going to shake things up quite a lot, and there's going to be a lot of teams jumping up, a lot of teams falling down.
Yeah.
So it's going to really jumble, but I fully expect at least one of these teams to be in it and probably
Yeah.
seated pretty high.
Yeah, and I think that might be Atlanta.
Yeah.
I think Toronto's going to maintain, but I don't think they're going to be. See, the problem is you have teams. If it goes into like some kind of crazy DPS meta, I mean, you still have New York. You got
Right.
Philly with a bunch of good DPS. You have San Francisco. You have London gets thrown back in the mix.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I mean, obviously Vancouver's still going to be right there.
well, yeah, the Gladiators, and you have weird teams like Hangzhou and like all the Chinese teams. I mean,
yeah, Chengdu. I mean,
Yeah.
any one of those teams could really make a run. And then, I mean, as far as stage playoffs go,
yeah,
everything
knows?
resets. So
Yeah.
everyone's back on the same playing field for the stage playoffs. So, I mean, it could really go any way.
yeah, and there's going to be teams like even Dallas. Dallas could. I
Mhm.
mean, they were an inch from getting in anyway.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's Houston's meta though. You know that, right? We're gonna get one shot in.
Yeah, we always got to throw in one jab.
Um,
Oh, God, I
but
love it.
that Toronto match though, I watching that, like the Philly match was kind of back and forth for a minute, and I was like, well, Philly's being Philly here, they're done.
Hmm.
Yeah, they were. But the Toronto match, I kind of knew it was over when San Francisco was like, yeah, we know you're playing Sombra, and we're not having any of it.
Yeah.
'Cause
Oh, yeah, they
Yeah,
saw right through that. And
it was just,
honestly, like, as well as Envy plays Sombra, it kind of does them a disservice because
He's a better
then you
diva.
don't have him on Diva. Exactly.
yeah.
Like,
I mean, it's a double-edged sword when you're running the Sombra because you're taking your diva out,
right.
and it depends on the level of your diva. You know,
Exactly.
I mean,
And it's like it worked for Soul because, I mean, Michelle is very good at both, but they also, I don't know, it felt like Soul played around it a lot better.
yeah,
But also, I mean, San Francisco, they were
San
on
Francisco's
a
insane.
mission. Like,
Hey,
as well as Toronto was, they were trying. Like, they
yeah.
tried so hard, and they made it a game at points. But I mean,
San Francisco's just better.
Yeah, they're just a better team, and they were on a mission to prove everybody wrong that they deserve to be
Yeah,
a top tier team and to be considered that for sure.
and those guys that we give a lot of flack to, man. They came out this weekend and they mashed.
Yeah, they really
Fucking
did.
Super was insane.
Yeah, Super was ridiculous. Sinatra continues to show that he's
Yeah.
one of the top tier players in the league overall.
Well, and I also think he got a threat too, like in the offseason. It's like, hey, we got Striker, man.
Right?
You get it together, dude. You're great, but there's a guy waiting in the wings that's better than you.
Exactly.
Potentially,
If you don't step it up. Right.
Yeah.
And he's absolutely stepped it up. And I really kind of wonder if that's why Krusty brought Striker in.
Yeah,
Just to light a fire under Sinatra.
could be. And it depends on where this meta goes. They might need Striker.
Right.
Because you don't know how they're going to run. I mean, and nobody has any idea which is why we're going to do that stream next week. We're going to get a bunch of us together and we're going to be like, where is this going?
Right.
You know? Because, I mean, where do you power rank teams?
Who knows? Like,
I mean, Boston
it's,
has no DPS unless this supposed trade happens.
Mhm.
I mean, other than
And
that,
even that, from what I saw, that trade fell apart. So
Yeah.
who knows what's going
it
on?
fell
with-
apart
with
because it got
that,
leaked all over creation, I think is what happened.
Right. Exactly. I wonder if that is gonna, like, if there will be some other kind of trade that pops up this week, or what goes on with that.
We could see something. I think the Valiant are looking to shake some things up. I really do.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be smart for them to do that. They're crazy if they don't. It just something needs to happen.
Yeah, for sure.
But anyway, all right. So,
So yeah, that's the Friday matches. There wasn't a whole lot
yeah,
that really happened. I mean, I fully expect Atlanta and Toronto to be right in the next stage and
yeah.
continue their upward trends.
Cool year elitist
And they'll learn
Jets.
from it.
Cool your
What's that?
elitist. I said, cool your elitist Jets on
Yeah.
these two teams, please. And I'm
Exactly.
kind of a fan of Toronto, so I'm kind of being an apologist, but oh, for the love of God. Oh, they're not New York. They're not San Francisco. Well, all of your beloved fucking pink teams and Hammond ball teams and fucking wacky DPS teams, guess where they were this weekend? Sitting on
Sitting
their
at home.
ass.
Exactly.
They were on stream playing fucking wrecking ball instead of being in the playoffs.
Right.
But anyway, enough of that.
All right. So Saturday.
Saturday, man. Fuck.
I mean, Saturday was weird, like, because it was just basically the two teams that
Just
we got
mashing.
in the finals just absolutely hammering the other teams.
I thought Philly had a shot too. I was like, Philly could do something here, and then, man, is San Francisco good when they get
I mean,
rolling.
more so, honestly, San Francisco dominated Philly more than Vancouver dominated Seoul. Like,
Yeah.
Seoul was kind of in there for the most part. Like,
They were in
Vancouver
it, sort
was
of.
always in control, but, like, Seoul was still, like, they would still get points, and they would still
Yeah.
keep making it interesting. But, I mean, Vancouver was just
Yeah.
overwhelming it by the end. So, but,
And then when
I mean,
Vancouver wanted to just go to bed, they were like, all right,
yep.
lights out.
All right, we're done.
Yeah. But man, San Francisco didn't give Philly any room to breathe at all.
Oh
Fucking
no!
just-
Like they completely suffocated them.
And once again, man, and I keep saying it, the one guy that impressed me all weekend was Super.
Yeah.
He was
Oh, he played out of his
fucking
mind.
on fire, man. I mean, he's been good all stage too, and you know, so we got through these two matches, and it's like all of a sudden though, after a bunch of people, including me, and I think you did too, after watching San Francisco play Philly the way they did, we were just like, I don't think this is going to be a blowout at all.
Right.
The way I'm like, man, San Francisco is playing so tight.
Yeah.
And yeah, so yeah, unfortunately, those were the first games on ABC, or were those
Right.
on ESPN? No, those were they were on ABC.
Those were on ABC. Yeah.
Yeah, that started the influx of all of
Bros.
all of the bros talking about, oh my
It's
god,
just like-
the end of times that fucking video games are on television on ABC.
Video games played on ABC. Oh, it's the end of
the
days.
fuck
Blah
watches-
blah blah blah. And it's just like, what are you doing watching ABC at 3:00 in the afternoon on a Saturday anyway, and
Okay.
then tweeting about it?
And
That's what I want.
I'm a sports fan. What the fuck sports are on ABC except for the NFL on what's it, Sunday night?
No, they don't even have that anymore.
What?
ABC doesn't even really show any sports anymore.
They show college football on Saturday.
Yeah, they show college football on Saturdays because ESPN took, or they gave ESP, or yeah, they gave Monday Night
ESPN's got
Football to
Monday night.
ESPN. Sunday Night Football is on NBC.
Yeah, that's right.
ABC doesn't get anything.
So
They have
college
Very
football
college football, and that's
and
it.
IndyCar racing and fucking golf. And if these are the people that are on there fucking complaining, they need to get their fucking head checked. Because first of all,
Right.
you're watching IndyCar racing, which I'm a racing fan. No one watches fucking IndyCar racing at all. You either watch F1 or you watch NASCAR or you watch some kind of weird like off-road racing or some shit.
Right.
Or V8 racing from fucking Australia. You don't watch IndyCar racing. It's you might as well go out Saturday night to the track by your house. And I'm sorry, guys that watch golf, and if there's anyone out there, clip this fucking thing and put it on ABC. I don't give a flying fuck what these old bastards think. Guys that watch golf are making fun of people watching video games. So
Right.
watching a dude in shitty pants with a bunch of sticks in a park hit a fucking ball into a hole is more athletic and better than watching a bunch of kids playing a
No,
video.
it's more manly.
Oh yeah,
Man.
because every
Oh,
time
man.
I was on a golf course, I
watch
encountered
golf.
yeah, watch golf.
Ugh.
It's a bunch of southern fucking rednecks anyway. 90%
Exactly.
of the time complaining about that
Well,
shit.
There's a tweet that's going out right now from Slasher that is this one guy saying, ABC is treating nerds playing video games like it's the NCAA tournament. Meanwhile, one of his other tweets that same day is, no internships this summer unless you can teach me how to play this Apex Legends. Yeah. Put your thumb up your ass and fuck off, dude. Like,
stop
it's
debating.
the people like that can just... Ugh, I hate it.
Yeah.
It's
and
so
then laugh,
infuriating.
too. It's like the guy saying, oh, they should have college basketball and they have a bunch of adolescent nerds on TV. So that's different than coddled adolescent youth that you've stolen out of their home to promise them a better life by putting them through AAU basketball, putting them at 1 year at Duke, denying someone a scholarship that's smart enough to get into Duke to actually pursue a life, and then throw them into the NBA for a year and tell them, what, you're done.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's better than this. Okay.
Yep.
Sure.
You know, because at least these kids are getting paid.
Yeah. Oh, those guys are getting paid too. Don't
oh yeah, they definitely are. But they can at least, you know, they can be open about it.
I lived in Columbus for 2 years. Believe me, those guys are getting paid.
Oh, I believe it. 100%.
Motherfucking what's his name?
One
Terrell
of the most
Pryor.
corrupt
Terrell
organizations
Pryor.
in the world.
I was down there when Terrell Pryor had his issues.
Yeah.
Driving around in a brand new 2010 Corvette. Oh, he was just he washes cars at the Chevy dealer. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. And how do you?
Can I get that job?
how do you have money to eat dinner where I took my wife out for my anniversary and it cost me $200? You're there every night. You're a regular. Oh, really? Oh. Yeah, college. Yeah. I was in college. I was like eating ramen that I stole from somebody's fucking apartment. And I was in culinary school, man. Anyway.
Right, and it's you get that, and then it's just ridiculous.
I just laugh. I told you this.
I don't know. One of my favorite things that happened this weekend, obviously, other than today with the most amazing match I've ever seen, is when they had LeVar Burton on and
his daughter. That was amazing.
And his daughter. That was one of my favorite things that's ever happened with this league, or really anything. Like, it was so great, and like seeing him embarrass her was amazing.
Oh yeah.
And just like the fact that is his daughter, and like I just never connected the pieces until he was there, and he's just like, "Oh, this is my daughter." And I'm like, "Oh shit." You're fucking Geordie LaForge's daughter? What?
Yeah, I know. And I was laughing. I'm like, Penny said something like, he probably taught every one of the 3/4 of the motherfuckers in the audience how to read.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was pretty amazing. And I want to say something too. And I, you know how I go off, like how much I love the broadcasts, man.
Oh my god.
And all of these guys are so good. Like,
yeah.
The desk is great, especially they got Bren back, and it's just like bedlam now.
Oh yeah.
He's not quite sock on the fucking microphone, weird Bren in this room.
Right.
Calling everybody Giga Chad motherfucker, whatever.
Yeah.
Sideshow,
not Bren. Having Sideshow and Bren there together, it just, like, the chemistry that those two have, and then just how everybody can play off of that is fantastic. And then you're getting, having Wolf and Achilleos, like, those guys are killing it.
Yeah. They all kill it, though. That's the thing.
They really do.
But
honestly, today was the one that just takes the cake. Uber is hands down the best. He might be the best sports announcer.
He's one of my favorites
across all of sports.
Yeah, and Mr. X just like knows when too. In Mr. X too, he knows like when to go in there with stuff. And Uber just like, I tweeted out at him. He was like, he said something about the games. He was like, people are like on me or something like that. You know, everyone's of course, what the fuck is wrong with you, dude? That was amazing. I'm like, dude, you take. Like, during the week, you take the boring matches and make it actually fucking compelling to watch.
Right.
Like, I like watching all the other guys.
And then when you get but then you also follow it up with but when you get a game like that, you make it legendary. And you're not wrong. Like, you are so right with that. Because he really does.
And
the dude is incredible.
And I'm way the fuck older than all you motherfuckers, man. I've watched all of these crazy dudes like announce sports, you know, like Howard Cosell and all that. But he's one of these guys that's like, in this genre of stuff, he's just amazing. Like,
I would watch golf if that guy was announcing it. Like, that's what, as much as we just won that rant about golf.
Just like fucking dropping us. Unbelievable! Like, I still watch that, and the only reason why I watched that fucking Tvik clip with that fucking deflect is because he's like, "Get out of here! That was filthy."
Yes. So great.
Yeah, I mean, but they're all amazing, and they make it hype, man. Even those shitty
really
matches,
do.
like Achilles and Wolf are awesome. Like Semler, Semler just like does those like he's gonna fucking murder them all. Well, he doesn't swear, but
Yeah.
just go in there and murder them, cleave their faces off.
Yeah, I mean, just all those guys just absolutely killed it this weekend.
Dylan and Monty are great too. They're like the intellectual guys that they have enough hype, but they're bringing you all this insight, and the other guys bring you a lot of insight too. But the other guys like get you like so built up, like, oh, what the fuck's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen next? You know, you're like glued, and it's like they start getting nuts, and you're like, whoa, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah, let's dive in.
Yeah, let's talk about the greatest match of Overwatch League history.
Because holy crap! I mean, start to finish, this was just a nail biter. It's it's what we've been wanting. Like,
since
I was thinking about it earlier. Like, we didn't get the match we wanted, but we got the match we deserved.
Yeah, we finally got a playoff match that was down to the wire.
Yes, from start to finish, like you had no idea who was gonna win any team fight, let alone any map.
Yeah,
like it was crazy.
Yeah, and then like that, I got a little scared on the first point. I was like, oh. Like Vancouver went 100-0 on that. I was like, oh fuck.
Right.
But then I'm like thinking, all right, it's Nepal Village. That's a weird map.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. And
then San Francisco turns around and just mashes on the next two.
I'll tell you one thing that Vancouver does not like. They do not like it when you take it right up in their fucking grill.
Yeah.
They are very uncomfortable when you bring the fight to them. Super was fucking just, oh yeah, you want to throw your fucking hammer at me? Guess what? Here we go.
Right. Well, I feel like they weren't expecting that.
Yeah.
But like after a few times of that happening, they were like, all right, that's how you're gonna play this. That's just how we're gonna go. And it was just
turn
like
it up to 11.
It was haymaker after haymaker from each side, and it was it was a joy to watch. Like
Nepal was play too.
Good. Right.
And the thing is, it wasn't terrible. Like they weren't going aggressive and being stupid.
Right.
For the most part,
everything was calculated. Like it all still felt calculated.
Not counting Bumper half the time, but
yeah,
it still worked.
But even the shit that Bumper does is still...
It's calculated enough.
Yeah. Or at least his team knows, well, he's going to go do that, so we're going to do this to make sure that we don't completely screw ourselves over.
Yeah, exactly. But, yeah, the first map, then, they turned around and took San Francisco took the next 2 points on that, and I was like, okay, we got a game now. Because I was hoping that they drew first blood on that, because I was a little worried if they didn't, that it would be one of those snowball out of control kind of things, where it's like, oh fuck, we got to catch up, and then, you pick the wrong map, for the second map, and then, speaking of the second map, Vancouver came out and just.
Oh my god, that hold was just gross. Like San Francisco could get nothing.
That's the thing. Sometimes with Vancouver, it's like when you're in one of those really bad solo queue matches, where you're playing against a 6 stack.
Yeah.
And you're just like 6 randoms. You're like, what the fuck? This is not gonna work.
And you're just constantly throwing yourselves against a brick wall.
Yeah, and you're like,
and you just cannot break through.
Then you're like looking at your stats. You're like, it's not that I'm missing shots. It's that I can't take any shots.
Right.
Or I can't do anything.
Right. Like if you're hitting something, they're just healing right through it.
Yeah.
And it was just
like the only person that's got their ult is your healer.
Yeah.
Because you guys are just getting absolutely mashed.
Right.
But yeah,
That's definitely how that map felt. Like, I mean, the fact that we didn't even see the escort part of Numbani should just show that,
yeah,
like, Jesus, the defense that both of these teams had. Because, I mean,
yeah,
then you turn around to Anubis, and the defense that San Francisco had
that was
was
amazing.
insane.
Yeah, that Anubis map, that's the only two CP map I really enjoy to play.
Yeah.
So I like watching these guys play it. I don't mind. I've gotten over Lunar Colony. Paris has taken that spot.
Oh, God.
I just like, I was on Jane's stream for a minute just to hear what those guys were saying, and they're like, so next one we have Paris map. What do you guys think? Everyone's like, it's shit. Like the fucking chat's like, fucking hate that map. There's like 4,000 people and everyone's like, sucks.
Yep.
Fucking hate that.
I mean,
map.
I'm right there with them. It's terrible.
I like playing Hammond on it. That's about it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like the fact there's no high ground in that back point though.
Yeah, it's not good.
No. So anyway, Anubis was amazing, and then I liked the 7 map thing. I got thrown because remember we were saying yesterday, or like on our stream, the stream on our thing this morning. They do a break after the 5th map?
Yeah.
Which is good because I was like, if they don't give these guys a break, if they go that far,
right?
Man,
like these guys are gonna be
happen?
like, do they have catheters or something that they're able to pee? Like, come on,
come on, dude, I have to go pee.
Like,
Jonas,
dude, I got pee. They have like shit buckets there that they're just going,
well,
or
if that
colostomy bags.
Yeah. Fucking. If they did that to Vancouver, they're like, you can't leave. And then, like, coach just gives them, like, 5 gallons of water before they go out there. It's the only way you're getting off stage is if you fucking win. They would have taken the fucking thing in, like, 3 minutes. All right, we're done.
Right.
Anyway. Yeah, so they went on Anubis, and that was good. And then the most surprising thing, and it kept going back and forth. And the big thing with Anubis was Choi Hyobin fucking saved the day, man.
Ooh,
with
yeah.
that fucking bomb. And actually, that map's on right now, because they were kind of like getting kind of held. And, they just couldn't get enough of a foothold on the point. And he got I think he got a triple or a double kill.
Yeah,
and
I think it was.
They snowballed it pretty good, and they had a decent enough time bank.
Right.
And then they had that massive hold.
That hold was ridiculous. Like, and yeah, like it was looking like
it was looking grim.
It got down to the last couple of seconds before.
Yeah, it was getting close.
I'm pretty sure it went into overtime as they were capping.
Yeah.
The first point, and then they just steamrolled, or they
steamrolled. They had enough
right
time. Well, they have 1:30, I think.
I think they had they had 3 minutes.
Oh yeah, they had 3 minutes. Yeah, because they got second point so fast.
But then their defense on the second point, because I mean Vancouver got the first point in like a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
So they had like a 6-minute bank to get the second point,
and they shaved a good amount of time off that.
For
a good 3 minutes.
It was like 4 minutes. They only had because they had less time than San Francisco did going into it.
Yeah, what they have like? Yeah, they might have had like.
They had like a minute and a half, 2 minutes, or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah, they were just and watching like super and bumper. I mean, how many shatters do those guys get?
Insane.
I think
probably
they were getting like 10, 12 a map.
Yeah, it was something ridiculous like that. It really felt like.
I know, and I think one map. I think Bumper like blew more fucking shatters than most people get in a lifetime.
Right.
I think some of the problem now. This is something. It's not a problem, but some of the things in the maps that they lost, San Francisco was not good on following up on the damage to get eliminations on Super's shatters. There was a few times, and a couple of them were on maps they lost, where he would get a 4-man shatter, and there would be fucking 4-man guys just getting right up off the ground.
Yeah.
But yeah, then what do we move on to? Kings Row next, right?
No, it was Dorado.
Dorado.
Dorado was after Anubis.
I hate Dorado. I don't hate Dorado, but I do.
That I love watching these guys play.
I love watching these guys play.
My God, like something like that second point, just getting it around those corners is just always like, if you can get it around there, then you might be able to finish. But that's always just, it just creates such amazing fights.
Yeah, it does. And like by the courthouse is usually where the big moments happen in on Dorado. Like there's always something loony that happens there.
Yeah.
Like
it was ridiculous.
Yeah, and they were just trading back and forth on that one. I gotta say, I was rooting for San Francisco. I never thought I'd do that. Kind of. I don't know why. I was just.
I just wanted it to be a good match, and like I didn't want either side to really mash the other. So it was just fun to see them go back and forth like they did. Like it's insane.
Yeah. Sometimes I like seeing guys that are a little. Not the guys on top.
Underdog thing.
Guys on top when they get a little brash. I like watching someone punch them in the face and see what happens. And they didn't.
Yeah.
They like doing the hit, and they don't like getting hit at all.
Mm-hmm.
Vancouver, that is.
Yeah.
That being said, though,
they're still the most clutch team in the league, like hands down. Yeah, because I mean, ridiculous.
They were insane.
So after, Dorado was a fun map, and there was some cool moments, but it's just not one that really stuck out for me.
No, me either.
It was Ilios that really, when we got Siominsu going pine on the well,
murdering everybody. Fucking McCree.
It was gross.
And if any of you guys think they're just a goats team, just watch that.
Right, like.
Could be in trouble next
that's the scariest thing for this team is like this isn't even their final form because they're probably a better dive team than anything else.
And we're going to see dive and double sniper. You know we're going to see that.
It's gonna be a dive like meta next.
I think it's going to be
for sure,
and it's going to be very map dependent and all that stuff.
Yeah,
too, which is fantastic. If you're
I'm fully on board with that.
If they do things where they run goats like on certain maps, or they run, dive here and there, and then, you have double sniper, or you have bunker comps like on Anubis Point A or stuff like that. I want to see that, and I also want to see how these guys play that shit map Paris, too, next. I'm just... What the fuck do you guys do? Because you're all snipers. Where the hell are you hanging out?
Yeah, for sure.
Usually on those 2 CP maps, they want to play snipers, but... what are they going to bunker comp that one? That one's tricky, though. You got that...
It's going to be weird.
You got that environmental shit right on the other side of the first point.
Mm.
Who knows?
Yeah, it's going to be some weirdness. I'm so super excited.
Yeah.
And once again, just a little plug for our thing next week. 10 o'clock, we're going to be...
Probably
10:30.
10:30, yeah, I would say.
Yeah, 10:30. Same time we started tonight. It's going to be a full-on roundtable with a bunch of the other podcasts that we've collaborated with in the past. So stay tuned for that next Sunday night, guys.
Yeah,
but yeah,
be fun.
Going back to that match, God, Ilios was just crazy, and it just got down to that final point of which one was it?
It was Ruins, wasn't it?
Was it Ruins?
Yeah. It was Ruins. There was a couple times, man, Sinatra...
where it looked like Vancouver was just gonna... there was a point where it looked like Vancouver was just gonna straight up 100 to nothing.
Yeah.
And then San Francisco comes out of nowhere and holds them and keeps holding them off.
Well, yeah, and the thing is Super and Sinatra were playing out of their minds, and Choi Hyobin also had another great game. He didn't go gravitating crazy like usually, but I think he got 1 or 2. But he was just making clutch plays here and there, and
he was.
Yeah, and that Ruins one was the Lucio play was insane too, like we were talking about on our fucking man.
Slime and
Moth
and Moth were just going after each other.
Yeah. Arrow kept saying he was on Jane's stream, and he kept saying Moth is so good on Lucio. You don't understand how good Moth is. And Jane was like, yeah, the people underestimate Moth on on Lucio. He was just insanely good. I thought he was.
He was absurd.
Yeah.
I mean, both of them played out of their minds.
And there was nobody that played terrible. There was no one you're like, oh man, that was awful. Like everybody was making big plays, and especially on, on Ilios. Everyone kind of like each of the guys who wanted to do something kind of did something.
Yeah.
Big guys were all stepping up. It was good to see. It wasn't just like a flat match.
I would say obviously he was the player of the match, but Xiumin Su just came out and proved that he is like top tier. I mean, he and Sinatra are 1 and 1A of Zarya's in the league, and I feel like they're going to continue that. Minus it being Zarya, they're just going to be
they're still going to be really good,
clutch DPS players.
The thing is they're going to have it's going to be a little different because everybody knows how to play in those kind of metas, and you're going to have guys like Prophet's going to be able to do what he normally does. I mean, I don't think they're going to be. Actually, they haven't played them yet, but you know what I mean. Teams like that are going to come up out of nowhere. EQ
absolutely.
and Carpe are going to be playing what they're comfortable on. It's going to be different, and conversely, like teams like Atlanta, they're Defran and Enlayer and and Erster are all going to be playing things that they're comfortable on.
Right, absolutely. Like we could finally get to see some Defran on Soldier.
Yeah, because Soldier's back, awesome. Man.
Right.
Yeah,
I hope so.
Yeah, they'll use him. Do they have Hanamura?
There will be. I think it should be in the next map pool
because they love using him on point B. Which you know what? Actually, you could probably use him point A Paris.
Ooh yeah.
He might not be bad. It's kind of like they repainted Anubis.
Yeah, it really is.
A couple more
going back to this match, like we had Kings Row. I mean, Vancouver is up against the wall at this point. Like, they are just like they have to win to stay in because this is match point for San Francisco. And man, did they clutch out!
Yeah, they
their
did clutch
hold
out
on the last point
on point. Was it point B?
Yeah,
or 2 point. The second point there. Going down the hallway into the Omnic realm.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, that was insane. And
this team.
They were insane. And, San Francisco had a shot late in that on Vancouver's push because Vancouver had to just get it to the finish because what did San Francisco finish like a foot away or something like that?
Yeah, it was really close.
And that's the thing about this match. It's like inches.
Oh yeah,
they would have been going into overtime rounds and shit.
Yeah, each map was won by inches. Yeah, literally.
Well, except for when we talk about Rialto.
Yeah,
that was 9 inches. But yeah, there was at one point, and it wasn't like a mistake, but sometimes like slime with everyone talks about the boops and all that stuff, but his fucking when he drops the beat. He rarely misses like the right opportunity to do that. He never does it and he got one time when Super shattered towards the end of that map, and he fucking saved them all.
That was so clutch.
Sick. And,
absolutely insane.
Yeah, and I think going into the last map, which we'll talk about. I was like, well, San Francisco does have a shot here to actually finish this. And then Vancouver just kind of asserted their dominance, I would say, because they took a long time to get that cart moving, San Francisco. Yeah. It took them a couple of tries to get through that first point. I hate that courtyard there. That little courtyard.
Oh, yeah.
That first one when you go around that tight choke. Ugh, that's a pain in the ass. That tight choke is a pain in the ass, too.
It is. I mean, that's really tough. I really like the strategy that that these guys play of going through the building and going around. Yeah. I love watching them do that.
Yeah, I like that too.
I just think that's so awesome.
And I thought it was weird though that Vancouver came out with Winston goats to
Yeah.
start that. And I was like, and then it didn't kind of work, and then San Francisco started moving the payload, and I'm like, okay, this thing's just going. And
Right.
they're like, all right, yeah, that didn't work. Let's go back to what we know. Bumper,
Yeah, and then they just, I mean,
Bumper, go
that
get your
hold
hammer.
that they had, the hold they had was ridiculous. And then when they pushed, like, you could tell. I mean, I don't know. It's just something like San Francisco just seemed like they ran out of gas.
Yeah, I don't.
I mean, they started, they held, they tried to hold, but I mean, what did they have, like a 5-minute time bank to push it just a couple more inches?
Yeah. Well, and the thing is when Vancouver went on their push, they, I, I don't even know how to describe. They just were like, they look like a fucking like a angry mob going after fucking San Francisco.
Right.
Because San Francisco was playing back, you know, on that first point where everybody usually kind of you rotate up onto the onto that balcony. The other team kind of rotates around the cart when it's in that narrow choke, and you kind of dance around a little bit.
Yeah.
San Francisco is waiting for them to do that. They're like, nope, we're fighting right here, man. Let's go. Oh wait, no, we're gonna knock you all the way over the bridge. Yeah, like I mean, that cart didn't even stop moving.
No, it really didn't. It was insane.
Yeah, because San Francisco also was on their heels a little bit, and like even Mr. X was like, "Oh, they're giving them a lot of free cart movement here."
Yeah.
Like, I think the way that they're going, you gotta, you know, they couldn't. Then there was just a point. I think they, like you said, they ran out of gas, and Vancouver does not have an off switch.
No, they really don't.
They don't have an off switch, and they were just like, "Okay, we're just gonna keep fucking going. We gotta get to In and Out before 4 o'clock." So let's hurry this up, guys.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, it was like, then their hold was stupid, and yeah, they deserved to win. And I'm not going to take anything away from San Francisco in that match at all, other than the fact that I gained a lot of respect for them the way they played.
Yeah, same.
Just from all of the bullshit that happened, you know, here and there and other places, you know, like with the World Cup and some of these guys saying, you know, people saying they have attitude problems. I didn't see that today, man. I saw guys going out there and like giving it every fucking thing they have. Like then you see like on, you know, social media, like even like Super, he was like fucking like he was heartbroken at the end of that match.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? And it was like, you know, he gave everything he had, and I was kind of impressed by that. You know?
Oh yeah, they no, I definitely gained some respect.
I'm not saying that they never gave a fuck before it, but it was
Right.
like an attitude change.
Yeah, it was more of a like, they just were a little too cocky at times, and it's just like, well, you guys haven't really proven anything yet, so like, cool your jets. And it seems like they kind of did that, and they just stepped back, and they were just like, okay, we're gonna show and really work hard to show just how damn good we are, and I think they absolutely proved that.
Totally. I really think that they showed everybody, you know, what everybody wanted them to be. You know what I mean? Because, I mean, they're still really fucking young, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's crazy.
I mean, Christ, 3 of those guys on the starting lineup are 18.
Yeah, I mean, Sinatra turns 18 in like a couple of weeks, because it was around this time last year that we were...
Yeah, he turns 19.
That he came in. Or yeah, that he turns 19.
Yeah, and Violet just turned, and what's Super's 19.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. So, I mean, the old man on the team is probably 20.
Yeah.
Babyface taking over Dak's role, apparently.
Just cheerleader at this point.
He might get some play in the next minute. But yeah,
Maybe. Be kind of fun to see that.
Yeah. They got too many other guys.
Yeah.
But you know what? That match was amazing. And it was like everything we wanted like last year in the playoffs that we didn't get, and we started not getting that. And this one I was like, oh, is this gonna be another fucking dud playoff match?
Right.
And they brought it.
Yeah, they did.
And to be brutally honest, I think they brought it because of the way the meta is too. People can say how much they hate goats and watching goats. That was the most entertaining match I've seen in a long time.
Oh, for sure.
And
yeah, that was like goats against goats straight up.
yeah, I mean, there was a couple of times where you got a little weird, but that was usually just trying to hold points and stuff like that with Hammond. I mean,
Hmm.
you weren't seeing it. It was fantastic,
Yeah.
and neither one of those teams have anything to be ashamed of in
Oh,
that
definitely
match.
not.
I mean, that was amazing. Just give me that every day of the week.
Right?
Yeah,
Please.
yeah. One of my teams shows up like that, I'd be happy.
Yeah. I think Toronto's got a shot
Oh yeah, I'm
to
just
really
messing around
to
with
really
that.
get there.
They'll show up because
Yeah.
Ivy and Stellar are really good DPS players,
Hmm.
and Envy's gonna play more diva. I'm assuming. Who knows what the fuck
Yeah.
they're gonna run? I don't know what they're
Yeah.
gonna.
Who knows?
It's gonna vary from map to map to start. I mean, you're not gonna
Right.
have and they're gonna run what they know.
I mean, hell, we could see Envy playing Wrecking Ball, and
Yeah,
it might be Winston Wrecking Ball
yeah.
as your tanks.
Who knows? Or Winston Diva, or not,
Yeah.
or Wrecking Ball Diva. He could still just be on the Diva. You don't know.
Right.
Or he could be running Sombra if they're running like a Sombra comp.
Right. Like there's any number of things of how it could play out.
We
It's
are
going to be pretty fascinating
We're gonna dive into that next week for sure.
for sure.
And well, this week we will hit you guys up with our with a wrap up of stage one. You know,
Hmm.
talk about some things talk about the goats a little bit, the goats meta stage, and what we pulled away from it. We'll do a power rankings final one, and then we'll try and figure out what to do for power rankings for stage two, which starts on the 4th, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
gonna. Oh, by the way, just to interject about Cleveland baseball, it's gonna rain all week next week.
Of course.
It's,
Well,
it's like there's a 40% chance of rain and 50 degrees like every day.
it's going to be a pretty unwatchable first couple of weeks anyway, because two of our best players are going to be on IR. So
Yeah. Well, you got that.
Ramirez went down today
Oof.
after a brutal ball that he fouled off of his knee, and then.
Yeah. That's.
But luckily, they're saying there's no structural damage. Their X-rays came back and everything's good. There's no timetable for his return, but I think it's just them playing it safe and
Right.
wanting to make sure your second best player is okay to play like the other 170 games that you got to play or whatever.
Yeah. At least you guys got that
Ridiculous.
division.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? We still got our pitching staff, so
Yeah, you'll be all right.
it's going to be a painful offense to watch to start. But
Yeah.
maybe one of these guys will step up. I do think that people are not giving them enough credit for what they'll be able to do, because Francona he's a master at getting more out of guys that you would never expect to give you what they can.
Well, he did that in Boston.
Exactly.
He turned a fucking skinny DH into a. Oh wait, no, that wasn't him, was it? That was the juice. Sorry, I hate Boston. Obviously, you can see my hat. I got a fucking Yankees hat on, so I have no love lost for that fucking team. But he's a great manager though, and the only reason why they ever got anywhere was because of him.
Oh, for sure. Well, him and Epstein.
Well, and Epstein, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like that guy either.
Yeah, not a huge fan of him either. For sure.
I'm not a huge fan of him because he's not my general manager. It's really what it amounts to.
Well, he's been the general manager of two different teams who have kept my team from winning a World Series, so he can stick his thumb right up his ass.
Yeah. He must hate you guys because he wanted to make you like the longest wait.
It feels like it at times.
Well, maybe he'll come over here at some point.
Yeah. Not that it'll matter, because our owner's not going to give him enough money to make it worth his while.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, he'll give him enough money, but not enough to play with to keep guys on the roster that they need to keep.
Or maybe you can come over to the Valiant and help them get out of the cellar.
Oh, God. That's going to
Somehow my
take...
team's above them.
I mean, that would take the payroll of, what, like, one decent Major League Baseball player to really build an insane roster in this league. So, I mean, hey, it's definitely possible.
Yeah, that's a lot of money still.
Right.
Anyway, I think it's
yeah, I think it's time to wrap it up.
Yeah, I think we're gonna wrap this up. All right, guys. Thanks a lot for joining us. We will definitely be seeing you this week with, like I said, we're going to be doing our, a stage 1 wrap up, and then we'll talk about power rankings and that kind of thing. How we end the stage, and they're probably going to look totally different when we start stage 2. Not even going to lie. Not some places are not going to look different, and like the top and the bottom, I think will be pretty close to the same.
Well, there's one team that's going to fall from the top a little bit.
Yeah. True.
But, yeah.
I mean, like the bottom 2 teams are going to stay there for sure.
Oh, for sure.
The Valiant, I don't think are going to be down there forever, but who knows?
No, we'll see though.
Yeah. Anyway,
they got to get one win at least.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, we will talk to you later. Thanks a lot. If you're listening on Spotify and iTunes, please rate us, and don't forget to comment too anywhere. And YouTube, if you guys are on there, thanks a lot. And hit a like, hit a subscribe, all that kind of stuff. Like we said, we love the comments. We love going back and forth with you guys. Hit us up on Twitter, Twitch, chat. You guys come in, say something, say hi, even, and just leave. It's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you don't agree with anything we say, hey, we're more than welcome to take, debate things. I mean, that's why we're here. We want to talk about that stuff.
Right.
Anyway, so you guys have a good rest of your evening. Enjoy your time off a little bit from the Overwatch League, and we'll hit you up in the middle of the week. We'll talk to you later.
We'll catch you guys on the next one. Later.
I kind of feel like crap, and I kind of you know what I mean?
What was that?
I said I'm kind of...
Feel like playing.
What's that?
What'd you say? Sorry.
Oh, I said